Welcome to the Darwinian Delusions channel. On this episode, what I want to cover is why Darwinian evolution has become into a religion. Now, of course, Darwinian evolution, just like string theory, is a theory. It is something which is a working model, a working hypothesis, and a working paradigm. There's nothing wrong with accepting it as a working paradigm and working within that framework. But to say it's the truth, to make it into a religion, to try and get your ethics from it, this is basically the Darwinian religion. So why did it become into a religion? Well, we can actually get the answer from the Darwinists themselves. Richard Dawkins, in his book, The Blind Watchmaker, he admits that although before Darwin, it was possible to be an atheist, but after Darwin, he allowed us to become intellectually satisfied atheists. Now, why is that so? He elaborates in his book, The God Delusion, because all of the things in nature which look designed are an illusion of design. They're not actually design. Now, there's still the problem of where did life originate? Because, if you come up with this idea that all of life going back, the elephants, the giraffes, the human beings, the bacteria, the algae, the trees, everything going back just came from the first cell. Where did the first cell come from? And this is where Dawkins makes a very interesting hypothesis in his book, The God Delusion. He says, it could be a stroke of luck. But once we get that luck, then that's it. We got that first form of life, then, we can explain all the rest. Now, what's really interesting is it's not only Darwinists themselves that admit it is something which gives them intellectual fulfillment. Even evolutionary biologists who don't believe in Darwinism have realized this. For example, James Shapiro, a evolutionary biologist at Chicago University, Lynn Margulis, the late wife of Carl Sagan, another important evolutionary biologist, and also Masayoshi Nye from Japan, another important evolutionary biologist. All three of these biologists have said on separate occasions that Darwinism is a religion, and they have, interestingly enough, put forth complete alternatives to Darwinian evolution, which, if it was a fact, then why would you have these complete alternatives? But anyway, what's really interesting is that although you find atheists and Darwinists always trying to say, no, it's not a religion, at the same time they admit it gives them intellectual fulfillment, just about 6 weeks ago, there was a book published by Oxford University called Darwinism as Religion. Now, how much more clear can you get than that? But what I found really interesting is, obviously it gives you a lot of credibility that it's published by Oxford University, but that's not the main thing. The main thing is the guy who published this book, Michael Ruse, is a world authority on Darwinism, and he's an atheist. He's a philosopher of science, and also he's a Darwinist. He does believe that Darwinism is the best explanation of biodiversity. So it's literally, as the saying goes, from the horse's mouth. But, they'll still try and find some sort of ways of saying, no, it's not a religion. But interestingly, from their own proponents, who, you have to give credit where it's due, they will say, yeah, it is actually a religion. And as James Shapiro explains, that because Darwinism has functioned as a philosophical belief, this is what explains their extravagant claims, which obviously the evidence does not support. So I hope you've learned from this episode how the beliefs of certain scientists can impact the way that they look at the actual evidence. To find out more reasons why Darwinism is speculative based on assumptions and the disputes that exist amongst evolutionary biologists about its most fundamental ideas, make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel Darwinian Delusions.